Wagwan guys, welcome back to the channel. And today we're starting with a quote. We're actually going to start with a quote. Now, an artist must always seek ever greater stimulation lest his senses turn dull. Deidara of the Akatsuki. Now, this is something I always wanted to lean into, the concept of art. And I've always thought about where can I actually draw from this topic of awe of art? How do I convey art? We already know what art is. It has to do with three keywords: creation, skill, imagination. And for me, nobody embodies these qualities more than the artistic duo that come from the Akatsuki, from the Naruto manga anime. That's Deidara and Sasori. Now, why I like these guys, I had to take down some notes. The thing about being an artist is that once you get it, you get it. And if you don't get it, if you don't understand art, if you don't understand an art form, if you don't have that artistic license, if you don't have that artistic instinct, you can never get it. Now, from this panel, from the very first arc, the very first um mission that Team 7 and Naruto undertake from after the time skip is to go and save Gara, right? And when they encounter Gara, when they encounter Deidara and Sasori aura farming, sitting down on top of Gara's lifeless body in the cave that they were hiding in. The two of them sit down and they actually start having this discussion, continuation of the aura farming. They continue this conversation. And what I love about this conversation is that I love this panel so much because it shows you and it tells you so much about these characters the very first instant that you see them. And that's what I love about Naruto. It's like one of the first villains that you the first one of the first villains that you see in Naruto, one of the first major villains that actually means something. Zabuza, the demon of the mist. You see this guy and you know that this guy is a menace from the first minute that you see him. And when you see Deidara and Sasori, it's not menace that they bring to Team 7 because you already know their ability from the fact that they beat Gara, the one-tailed Jinchuriki, the Kazekage of the sand. But do you see this conversation? It actually shows, it mirrors the differences between Deidara and Sasori and what they think about art. And while I actually subscribe to, a little bit to the both sides of the argument, I subscribe to one side more than the other, and that is Sasori's side. Because I will get to the overall theme that looms large over Naruto, but for now, we're going to stick to what art means to the artistic duo. Now, Sasori says this. I'm going to read this out now. Now, okay, after Deidara talks about all like he's looking for a fight. He's looking to express his art through strength. He's looking to express that art because or I want to show that my art is the greatest thing. It's one of the things that leads to the both of their demises. It's about my art. How can this art transcend everything that is happening in the world? How can this concept of my art triumph over everything? And when they are having this discussion, I look at Deidara. Deidara is I side with Sasori, but let's start with Deidara. Deidara is this kind of person that reminds me of a lot about Kanye West. He's always looking to transcend, what art is. Because if you look at Deidara, his story, he goes from a ninja, a powerful ninja in a powerful ninja that is close to the top hierarchy of the Stone Village to a criminal. He's basically a criminal, a fugitive. He became a rogue ninja. He gets scouted by the Akatsuki. He gets embarrassed by Itachi, and that's what forms his lifelong grudge against the Uchiha clan. Itachi, he hates Sasuke. He wants to show them that, oh, my art is better than the Sharingan. That, oh, you guys are just skipping through life with the Sharingan. You feel me? And the thing about Deidara is that he reminds me a lot about Kanye because he's always trying to find what's the next level that I can take my art to. And the way he is, he because when he's arguing his argument with Sasori is very poignant and it's so interesting. The whole conversation between two of them is so interesting because his whole goal is to reach the very top. In his final speech to Sasuke about his art, this guy was literally willing to turn himself into a bomb to express his art and what he thinks about his art. And what does he say about his art? The thing about Deidara is that he respects Sasori's views, even though Sasori too, in his own right, he is proud, he is arrogant, as an artist should be about their views. Whilst Deidara respects Sasori's point of view, Deidara says this, that he respects his view. That is what I love about Deidara. Deidara actually respects Sasori, and Sasori does too respect Deidara. But Deidara says that, in his opinion, art is transient beauty that fades after just a moment. And I get that. It's like you watch football, you see the rainbow flick. When you see that rainbow flick then and there, it passes, it fades. But then because of maybe cameras, you get that and it's forever, But then in that moment, you're never gonna get that back. He's never going to do that same rainbow flick or that elastical the same way he did it at that very moment. It's transient, it's gone. Look at the way Deidara dies. Cower in fear, tremble in awe, for my art is an explosion. And then boom, there's a giant explosion that looks like a kind of like a lamp post, man. I don't even know what to call it. And it's gone just like that. It looks big, powerful. It's a show. It's beautiful. Just as Deidara intended his art to be. It's transient. It comes, it goes. And in that moment, in that instant, that big, beautiful explosion is gone. And that's what art means to Deidara. It comes and it goes. And for people to capture that moment, that is what Deidara thinks art is. But in Sasori's view, who I lean closer to, and I like Sasori for, apart from his art, the reason why he runs to art is also has to do with the overwhelming theme of Naruto, what Naruto is truly about. And the key word here is alone. The Sasori was alone. And also a very he also suffers from a very key element of Naruto, which is negligence. Lady Chiyo should have taken better care of her grandson. Because let's be honest, Sasori is a psychopath right down from the beginning. Like he loses both his parents. The first set of puppets he creates are his parents. They are his parents. So when he creates them, he runs to art to comfort him. Absent parents, no real guidance, just him and his mastery and his art of puppetry. He runs to art as a form of, this world doesn't have a place for me, so I'm going to run to art. And his opinion on art, he believes that he's sharp tongued. Sasori is he's quietly conceited, he's quietly proudful, and he calls Deidara's art form, even though he respects it, he calls his art form pyrotechnics. He calls it pyrotechnics. He believes that he's just using pyrotechnics. I wrote this down too in this same panel. He says that art is a work of beauty captured and left for posterity. It is the beauty of all eternity. For example, a very good example is you look at William Shakespeare's works. William Shakespeare would have been about 461 years old had he lived to this day. To this day, eh? If he lived to this day, he would have been, that's over 450 years ago. Meanwhile, we still have original manuscripts that have been translated into modern English. We still have, bruh, I read the Hamlet comic, the comic of Hamlet. That is posterity. That is art of eternity from a guy that lived over 450 years ago. That is art in all of eternity. So what Sasori believes in is that, because Sasori himself, he's a puppet. He's a self puppet. He created himself to last for eternity, also in line with his view of what art is. He prioritizes, these two guys prioritize their art above everything. And that's an inspiration for me, especially as an artist, like them prioritizing their art above everything. Their art is their life, literally, because the final bomb is in Deidara's heart. Sasori's heart is the one thing that is keeping his posterity as a self puppet, and through their hearts, through their deaths, their art transcends everything. And I love that. I actually love that whole concept. It's crazy because wow, like the two of them, the way they go back and forth in this one panel, and you see Naruto looking vexed. He's activated. He's ready to catch a body. Kakashi is trying to lock in, trying to figure out the situation, and then there's Sakura who says, "What's with these guys? What's wrong with these guys?" And that's the final point I want to make. If you don't get it, you don't get it. And that's just how art is. No matter what it is, whether it's sports or visual arts or it's anything like along those lines, if you don't get it, you don't get it. That's the artistic instinct. Once you lack artistic instinct, once you lack artistic license, once you just don't have it, you don't have it. There's nothing you can do about it. Hey man, that's something I just want to get off my chest. You know what I'm saying? I think this video is starting to stretch a little bit. So like, share, subscribe. This was supposed to be a quick little one for for the YouTube, for the TikTok. You guys go like, share, subscribe, turn your notifications on, everything. What are we on? Road to whatever. Road to 50 subs. Hey man. All love to the over 20 subscribers I have right now, and yeah, man, we'll chat later. Peace.